Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing really well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do a lot of career and personal finance related videos here on my channel, so if that's something of interest to you, then please do subscribe to my channel down below, and be sure to check out my website successbysanjna.com for career consulting and career coaching, interview help, CV reviews, cover letter reviews, all of that good stuff. Now, as you can tell by the title of today's video, I've got a very exciting video for you guys. I've got a collaboration with Queenie from Investwithqueenie. She's an Australian YouTuber who is growing ever so rapidly over in the YouTube space, TikTok space, and even on Instagram as well. Her channel and her content predominantly talks about personal finance, helping young Australians on ways that they can save money, invest in stocks and ETFs, and she shares her journey on her social media and talks about her purchasing her first house. And she's an owner-occupier, so she's living in the first house that she has bought. And I honestly think it's great to see someone who's done something very different to what I have personally done. And that just goes to show that there's no one way of achieving financial freedom. It's definitely up to you and what your, risk appetite is like. So in today's video, I'll be briefly sharing with you my decision in, reaching financial freedom, how I am currently rent vesting, and I have invested in cryptocurrency and NFTs, and talk a little bit about my journey. And then we will have obviously Queenie talk about her route to achieving financial freedom through purchasing her first house, investing into stocks and shares, and also into ETFs as well. Okay, so a little bit about why I have chosen the path that I have. You guys all know that I have been rent vesting for almost a year and a half now, since I have moved out of home, and I have chosen this path just because I feel like personally for me, well, I think first to start off with is talking a little bit about rent vesting. For those of you who are new to my channel and may not know, I am essentially rent vesting. So what that means is I am renting in an area or in a place that is suited to my lifestyle without sacrificing my lifestyle. So I'm happy to pay a little bit of extra rent and live in an area that's suited to my needs and makes me feel comfortable. But what that means is, obviously, because I don't have a big mortgage to fork out, I do have extra income to be able to invest in investments, and that just means that I'm able to put my money into places where I personally feel I see growth, I see potential, and those places include obviously real estate investing. I have been able to purchase 3 investment properties over the last year, and all by the age of 25. So I've been pretty happy with that sort of journey of mine, and I've been able to do that just because I have been able to rent vest. I do have disposable income that I can use to purchase my real estate. Of course, now that I have quit my job, I am going to find it a little bit more difficult to get another loan to be able to purchase another investment property, and that's just how the system works. You do need to have a stable 9-to-5 job, and because my job is not 9 to 5 like I'm sure Queenie's is as well, and if we were both to go ahead and get a loan, we would struggle. And for that reason, I have sort of opted into investing into cryptocurrency. I've been investing into cryptocurrency for quite some time now. I would say early 2018, so definitely been a while, and I just feel like I know the ins and outs of cryptocurrency, all of the cycles involved, and I have been able to definitely see my portfolio grow. And as of recent, I have been sort of delving into the world of NFTs as well. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, and they have recently emerged, and these are typically things around art, music, all in the sort of creative space. So I have actually purchased a few NFTs of my own, which have actually increased in value, so I'm very happy about that. But that's a little bit about my journey and the way that I sort of see myself achieving financial freedom. Now onto the remainder of the video. So Queenie and I on Instagram asked you guys to ask us some questions which we would answer on our channel. So I'm going to be answering some questions around rent vesting, cryptocurrency, NFTs over on Queenie's channel, so be sure to check out Queenie's channel for my responses. But here on my channel, I just feel like to my audience and to give you guys a different perspective on achieving financial freedom, financial wealth, that we would answer questions around, you know, buying your first house, and we'll talk about, you know, stocks and shares, ETFs, just because that's a world that I've never really spoken about here on my channel, because that's personally not my sort of strategy in terms of finances. So we're going to leave it up to the expert. We're going to leave it up to Queenie to answer a few questions around that. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the first question that I want to go ahead and answer here on my channel, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective around the pros and cons of stocks and ETFs. Of course, I'm going to get Queenie to share her knowledge around this space, but personally for me, I feel like I've never really delved into this space, just because just from the beginning, I was very much more gravitated towards cryptocurrency, just because that seemed very interesting at the time. It was very fast paced and I really do enjoy that. Of course, with high risk, there is high reward, as is with stocks and shares. But personally for me, I've just really never, for some reason, just never really looked into the world of stocks and shares. It's really not up to my sort of thrill seeker level, and I just find that, you know, I started with cryptocurrency first. So obviously when I did start, that was booming at the time, and I just felt like, you know, if you stick to one, you really do enjoy it, and you just stick through with it. And I think that's personally just what's happened with me. If I was to go into stocks and shares now, I would just feel like it wasn't quick enough for me. I do like seeing the return. Sometimes with cryptocurrency, you can see, you know, 200% gains, 300%, and the numbers are insane. Of course, it is very volatile as well, but I am obviously only putting in money that I can actually afford to lose. So that's a little bit about, you know, why I've never really looked into shares. Now we'll get Queenie to share her knowledge around this.
Hey Sanjna, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for having me on your YouTube channel, and hello to all of your wonderful subscribers. The first pro is diversification. By investing in an ETF, we are purchasing a basket of different stocks. So instead of just investing in Apple stock, for example, we're purchasing multiple different stocks. So this is an example of an ETF. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I just wanted to give an example. We can see the top holdings in this ETF, including Nvidia, Apple, Visa, Home Depot, and PayPal. And if we scroll down, we can also see the sector allocation and the country allocation as well. By having diversification in our portfolio, this reduces the risk overall. Another pro is companies are income producing assets. So we can make money in two ways. The first way is by the stock price increasing, and the second way is through dividends. Another pro is it is a liquid asset, so it's quite easy to buy and sell. Liquid like water? And there aren't too many transactional costs when it comes to purchasing stocks. Another pro is it's not as time consuming to manage compared to, say, property. And here are the cons. The first con is it can be risky in the short term. The stock market can be very volatile and irrational at times. Yes, it's going up. Buy. Oh crap, it's going down. Sell. So the price we purchase a stock or ETF for doesn't always represent its true value. Another question is, what are my thoughts on investing in robo-advisors versus purchasing ETFs directly? A robo-advisor is essentially a robot advisor.
I am your robot advisor.
It's an online platform that typically asks you a survey about your personal financial situation. And then after you've completed that survey, it will recommend a diversified portfolio to suit your needs based on your financial goals, your personal situation, and your risk profile. And this is how Pablo and I got started investing 5 years ago. I think that robo-advisors can be a really great start, especially if you're not sure which ETFs you would like to purchase, and if you're not quite confident yet building your own portfolio. It was really easy for Pablo and I to just transfer our money into our robo-advisor, and then our robo-advisor would invest for us on our behalf.
You are welcome, Queenie.
Because we weren't managing our portfolio ourselves, there are some extra fees associated with robo-advisors compared to if you were to just purchase those ETFs yourself. But they do manage your portfolio for you and also manage the rebalancing of your portfolio.
Now moving on to the next question that we're going to get answered, and that is how to research for stocks and how to identify which stocks to invest in. I personally, if I was to answer this question, I would definitely be sure to look at Queenie's channel, just because she has shared her journey over the past few years. But there are many other educational resources, obviously on YouTube as well, but there's a lot of self-help books and financial help books that you can read and look into as well. But Queenie, take it away.
The next question is, how do we research individual stocks before we invest? We select the individual stocks that we would like to invest in by using the 4 M's. The 4 M's are meaning, moat, management, and margin of safety. And this is a strategy that we learned from the book Rule Number 1 by Phil Town. The first M is meaning, which means that we want to invest in a business that has meaning and significance for us. We want to really understand the businesses that we are invested in and how they make money. Dear Elon Musk, before I invest in Tesla, can you tell me a bit more about the business? I'm free anytime on Wednesday after 3 p.m. Yours truly, Queenie. And we also want to keep in mind that when we do purchase a stock, we are essentially becoming a part owner in that business. So by becoming a part owner, we have a vested interest in that company. So we want to make sure that it is a company that we do want to invest in long term. The second M is moat. It's kind of like how castles have a moat around them. You may not enter my castle because I have a moat around it. This is essentially something that we like to look for in businesses as well. Moat essentially refers to a competitive advantage which is difficult to copy, because typically businesses that do have competitive advantages which are difficult to copy are the ones that end up surviving in the long term. The third M is management, and this is going deep into the management team behind the business to ensure that they are acting in an ethical way, and the management team is competent and using the business's capital effectively to grow the business. And finally, there is the margin of safety, which is evaluating what the intrinsic value of the business is, and if the stock price does represent its true value, or if it's overvalued or undervalued. Before Pablo and I invest in a business, we do want to ensure that there is a bit of a margin of safety. This is so that we can leave room for errors or unexpected events that may happen.
Moving on to the next question we have, and that is, would you ever see yourself purchasing real estate investments or stick to stocks and ETFs, and why? So I think personally, if I was to answer this question, if we were to swap it around, I personally would not see myself, buying stocks or ETFs, just because, as I did say, I have delved into quite quickly something that is growing at a rapid pace, and for me to then change that up and start investing into ETFs and stocks would just feel like I am moving very slowly. So I think I did sort of start with a very risky asset, and I'm pretty happy with how my portfolio is looking, and I feel like if I was to stick with stocks, my portfolio would not have increased to the level it has today. And if you ask me if I was to purchase my own house at the moment, I definitely would not be interested in purchasing my own house. I just feel like I personally don't actually know where I even want to live. So I think for me to purchase a house in an area that I'm not really 100% sure on would just not make me happy. I'm really happy with how I'm going, with rentvesting, trying out different locations. In fact, I think I will be moving from this apartment just because I get very bored very, very quickly, and I do want to upgrade my lifestyle a little bit. So I will be moving apartments at the end of the year, and I want to be able to diversify my income streams and, my investment portfolio. So I think if I was to buy a house, I would have to be strapped in and having to pay a large amount of money towards the mortgage. And obviously, given I am self-employed, and for whatever reason, if I wasn't able to pay off that mortgage, then I'll have financial stress, financial pressure, and I don't really want to put that on myself. Whereas with my investment properties, I'm obviously paying a mortgage, but my tenants who occupy those properties are paying my mortgage for me. Obviously, they can default on the rent as well, but I've actually been able to purchase a property in an area where the vacancy rate is very low. So I know that if they were to leave, the property will be snapped up very quickly by someone else.
The next question is, which is better, stocks or ETFs? Personally, I think there is no right way or wrong way to invest our money. That's not true. Stocks are definitely better. No, what are you talking about? ETFs are definitely better. It all depends on the individual and their risk profile and financial goals. The portfolio that works for Pablo and I is 75% in ETFs, 20% in individual stocks, and 5% in crypto. And the reason why we've decided to split up our portfolio in this way is because we have gone with a core plus satellite approach. The core of our portfolio is market tracking ETFs because they are generally less risky than investing in individual stocks. However, we do like investing in individual stocks and doing our research into different companies, so that's why we've allowed ourselves to have 20% of our portfolio invested in individual stocks. And the last 5% is in crypto. Crypto can be a highly volatile asset, so we've only allocated a small portion of our portfolio that we are prepared to lose. But we do believe in the technology of cryptocurrencies long term, so we would like a bit of exposure in our portfolio. So would Pablo and I ever consider investing in real estate? Personally, Pablo and I really love investing in real estate, and when we purchased our apartment 2 years ago, it has increased in value by quite a lot. From doing renovations on the kitchen, bathroom, floor and lighting, and the Sydney property market increasing in value over the past 2 years. We do enjoy the process of researching real estate and also renovating our properties, but it can be quite time consuming. And Pablo and I prefer to invest more of our time and energy into growing our YouTube channel. Pablo and I have gone full time on YouTube in the past couple of months, so it would be pretty difficult for us to get a home loan from the bank because banks generally see people who are self-employed as a bigger risk to somebody who is on a salary. So it says that your job is YouTube? I don't think we can lend money to you. So even if we did try to get another loan from the bank, it might be difficult for us at the moment. That being said, potentially in the future, we would like to get an investment property. We really like the leverage that you can get from real estate, and interest rates are just so low at the moment. Thank you so much for having me on the channel, Sanjna, and thank you to all of your wonderful subscribers for watching. I'll throw it back to you.
Okay guys, so that's everything that I have for you in today's video. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video and definitely learned a thing or two. And I will be leaving Queenie's channel details all down below in the description box, so be sure to check her out. And don't forget to subscribe to her channel and subscribe to mine as well if you haven't already done so. But guys, that's the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks guys.